Hey guys, what's up? This is Christian here. I'm going to walk you through the session of my latest single, I'm Poor, and hopefully if there's any music producers out there, you can learn something from it. If you're just wanting to learn a little bit about how music is made, maybe you can learn something. Yeah, this song is pretty special in that it was the first song that I made when me and my wife moved here to Minnesota, and it was really kind of just birthed out of a time of prayer for me. I actually originally thought it was going to be a straight up CCM congregational worship song. It kind of took on like this pop rock, borderline punk rock kind of sound, and it was fun. Yeah, so I'm just gonna walk you through the session here. Everything should be rolling, so let's get going. Here we are. I use Logic. I'm just a Logic guy through and through. You know, there's not a lot going on. Maybe to some of you, what is that? Almost 200 tracks seems like crazy. Apart from the stems, it looks like it's about 170 or 180 tracks. Not that much, but it is a lot. I mean, I guess. Yeah, as you can see, I have like everything organized because you need to just be organized when you're producing a song because, man, it can get really lost really quickly. I always like to keep the bass and the drums together. They like each other. Or, you know, they just belong together. So I don't actually have a bass here in Minnesota, which kind of sucks. But I found a plugin that is really great, and it's actually free. Ample Bass P2 Lite. Yeah, it's great. It includes a bunch of like these little artifacts that happen when you're playing a real bass, like, you know, string noise or like buzzes or even... It's pretty cool. The only downside is that it's a 4-string, and it's kind of like stuck at a 4-string. It won't go past like this E, essentially. Like if I try and go lower, it just nothing. Then I also use the synth bass too. It just gives the bass a lot of stereo presence. If you're producing, you always want your kick, bass drum, and snare right down the middle, but I even use them at the same time. Sometimes you just gotta break the rules a little bit. I don't know, probably not in real life. Okay, let's look at the drums. So this is called hi-fi pop. I kind of created my own snare using 3 different snares. This is the original snare. And then I combined same snare just with a bunch of overdrive in it. Just adds a little bit of like bite, you know? Sometimes you just want the snare to just, you know, bite. And then I called this one low snare. And I actually panned it to the left, which is kind of wild. You know, like I said, sometimes you just got to break the rules. All these layers, so many, you know, layers matter. They just add just a little bit of something. Like you're never going to hear the distorted fat snare. You're never going to hear the low snare, but it makes you feel something. Average people can feel it. They just can't articulate it. And then I added this studio R&B kit for the toms. Pretty cool. Some percussion. So there's barely anything going on. So I got like a loop going. But it kind of just adds like a little bit of movement. It's like a little robot shaker. Cool, let's move on to guitars. So I'm not a great electric guitarist. I'm really not. I'm mostly a keys player. So my ways of the electric guitar are archaic. Probably very like chaotic and crazy. Real electric guitarists would be probably ashamed of me. Which is fine, but I did my own. Here we go. This is the acoustic. 1 EQ, 1 compressor. That's it. In the vamp with verse 2, I add in electric guitars. It's doing the same thing the acoustic guitars are doing. They're just now electric guitars and adding a little more bite to it. I just literally plug in raw into my interface and I just like look for electric guitar presets. This one was called Spin Speaker Blues. I just did 2 takes and I panned it left and right, and there it is. Big tube and Brit and clean. A lot more clean sound. Let's look at the guitars in the bridge. Yeah, sounds like rock. Yeah, it's not even quite even on pitch. It's like just slightly off tune. Yeah, it's like especially that note. It's just, but it just adds like this rawness to it, which is what I wanted. It's like it's some keys and some synth work, which is not a lot. I have definitely organ going on. Never had much. And that's the first little keys thing that goes on in that break. It's just wild. called Hard Rock Organ. Stock Logic. Again, I'm telling you, just stock. That's all you need. Okay, here we go. So we got some keys. I like the little graphic of like watching the piano kind of do its thing. It's kind of fun to watch. And then we got this sort of 80s keyboard sound. Let's see. All together, they kind of sound like this. Yeah, pretty cool. BGVs. I actually didn't do any like SATB group harmonies going on. It's actually just a bunch of like lead vocal duplicates that are all working together. One thing that is going on is this guy right here. This plugin, it's pretty cool. I like this thing. It's called the Humanoid Robot. It makes it sound like a vocoder, but it does a little more. It kind of like transforms the voice in an interesting, fun way. I need to know you. It's super, it sounds so funny on its own. But I'm gonna solo it. What am I wanting and truly needing? Isn't that wild? No one else knows me through. It sounds like so weird on its own, but in context with, let's say, all the BGVs and the lead vocal, it just more than I show you. It feels like there's a bunch of harmony, but it's actually not. It's just that one thing. I need to know you more than I show you. No one else knows like you. There's a lot of harmonies going on here, so let's listen to here. No one else knows like you. What am I no reverb. None. It just makes it tighter. I feel like my voice can be very dynamic and sometimes a bad way. So I have to control it. So I usually always have multiple compressors going on, which is pretty standard. And this guy right here, Fresh Air. I mean, this thing is awesome. It adds what it says, fresh air. It just adds like this little sparkle. I'm going to turn it on and off and you'll see what I'm talking about. So that's with it on. Never had that's much off. Until. So this is still off. I'm going to turn it on. Life told off, me take on. Your film. Oh, off. Still I want to know on. You more. Yeah, it just adds like something that's really just pleasing, and it sticks out in the mix, and it just adds like a little upper harmonic distortion that just feels really good. And people use it a lot. People use it everywhere. Yeah, they love that plugin, and rightfully so. Sometimes I like to just like solo all the effects and just listen to just the effects going, which sounds kind of fun. There's that reverb on the drums. The delays sticking out. Effects are really important in songs. Yeah. That's a little bit of it, my processes, and a little bit of this track. Hopefully you liked it. Hopefully you enjoyed watching it. Hopefully you learned something. And if you guys think I need to learn something, if you guys think there's something I can learn and get better at, please let me know. I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned for some more music coming. Thanks.